look tricky as we head through the night tonight. Snow, sleet, freezing rain, all headed in our direction. We'll break it down for you, tell you how it will impact your morning commute. Also calling it quits. Senator Rob Portman says he will not run for re-election, what it means for the remainder of his term, and who might fill his seat.
We hope that the governor, will recognize that really talented educators are educators.
Vaccinating teachers. Some are farther ahead in line than others. Why who they teach determines who gets a shot. And look at this house fire caught on dash cam video. The amazing rescue story ahead. Plus, save our sauce.
Everybody's really tired of it, but we just have to endure, We have to.
Our new campaign to help the restaurants in our neighborhoods. What's new starts now.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
Hello again, Northeast Ohio. Thank you so much for choosing What's New for the final Monday of January 2020. I hope you had a great weekend with Betsy Kling. Hello, Betsy, to you. I'm Jay Crawford. Good to see you, Bets.
Hi there, Jay Crawford. Can you believe it's the last Monday of January? I feel like we just got to January.
No.
Things are getting a little bit crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. But, just right on time, we do have quite a wintry mix that's moving our way for tonight. There are winter weather advisories that have been posted for just about all of Northeast Ohio. Matt Wintz is on weather duty for us this evening. And, Matt, we've certainly been keeping a very close eye on what seems like a very slow-moving radar picture at this hour. But that's going to start to change.
Yeah, Betsy, absolutely. Things really going to start to ramp up later on this evening into tonight. And on the scale of winter storms, this isn't going to be a blockbuster storm, but anytime you throw ice in the mix, that's when we could have some problems, especially for that Tuesday morning commute. So let's get to the weather maps. You can see, as Betsy mentioned, winter weather advisory out for the majority of the area. Tuscarawas County, sorry, you're not invited to the party with this one, although you may still have some ice, especially overnight tonight. But that goes through tomorrow morning, so the main impact is going to be tonight through tomorrow. Radar, as Betsy mentioned, quiet. We did have one wave of energy down to the south. We were highlighting that yesterday. We did have some snowflakes down towards the south. We're quiet now, but the bigger picture tells the story. We've got a pretty vigorous area of low pressure that came out of the southern plain states. That is now actually starting the weekend, but what's left is a lot of moisture getting thrown into this cold air. You can see the heavy snow we've got back towards Iowa, thunderstorms down towards our south. And what's going to happen on the radar here over the next couple hours, this will start to fill in. There's lots of lift in the atmosphere, so we'll see that radar start to light up. Problem is, we've got temperatures that are right near the freezing mark, so as that precip moves in, we're talking snow, some freezing rain, and some sleet developing as it does. The heaviest snow is going to be north of here. This is not going to be a snow issue. You can see up to a foot. Areas of Iowa. Our concern is this, which is that freezing rain-sleet combination, which could make things slick tomorrow morning. And coming up in the main forecast, Betsy, we'll take you hour by hour through that. We'll also talk impacts as we go throughout your Tuesday. And then we've got another storm to watch beyond that. Very active weather pattern. All that coming up.
That's why we remind folks all the time, focus on the impact, not the numbers. And there could be some impacts tomorrow morning. We look forward to that latest update from you, Matt. Thanks. Jay?
Well, Betsy, now on to your feet at 5. Ohio Senator Rob Portman surprised a lot of Ohioans today when he announced he will not be seeking re-election in 2022. Our Will Ewick talked with a political expert this afternoon to see what all of this means. Will, what did he say about how this decision impacts Ohio and the U.S. Senate moving forward?
Yeah, moving forward, Jay, he said basically there's going to be a lot of hats in the ring now for 2022 for that Senate seat that is currently being held by Senator Rob Portman. We did reach out to Senator Rob Portman to see if we could talk to him today, but all we got was that announcement that he was going to be stepping aside. And for the state of Ohio, it means that he is stepping aside. This is a senator in the middle of his second term. He won 2 elections by virtual landslides and has been a part of the federal government for over 3 decades. That announcement that we did get from Senator Rob Portman, basically, he referenced the increasingly polarized country, which is, he said, making it difficult to find common ground to get things done. Now, he will be the top Republican on the Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee as he finishes out his term, says he'll continue to work hard on the COVID-19 response, wants to focus, though, on the legislation rather than campaigning. His announcement does come on the same day that the Senate is receiving the House impeachment article against former President Trump, in which Portman has said he would listen to both sides before making a decision on how to vote. Now that he's not seeking re-election, some political analysts say that could change the way that he votes, not just on impeachment, but also on legislation moving forward. NBC senior political editor Mark Murray says it could make him more of a free agent than before. And as far as the election for the seat in 2022, he says the field is pretty wide.
We're going to have a probably competitive Republican primary. I don't think that there would be anyone who could clear the field. You would probably have a Trumpian type of Republican candidate. You will probably have a not so Trumpy kind of Republican, and they'll all duke it out. And it'll be a really interesting gauge to see where the Republican Party is in the post-Trump era, and also to see where the Democrats are in the beginning of the Biden era.
Now, when we continue that discussion, Jay, he mentioned a little bit of the sort of Trump-type candidate for the Republican side. He sees maybe like a Jim Jordan, Representative Jim Jordan on the non-Trump Republican side, maybe someone like Lieutenant Governor John Huston. Now, on the Democratic side, he brought up several times Representative Tim Ryan, if you'll remember, did try to go for the Democratic nominee for president a couple of years ago. So those are some names maybe to keep an eye on as we go forward with this.
Well, the timing of this announcement is curious. He's 4 years into his second 6-year term. Why make the announcement with still 2 years to go on that term?
Yeah, got some time left, but he said he made up his mind, Jay, wanted to get it out there, and obviously his eyes, too, on 2022. He said he wanted to put it out there so any Republican that thought they may want to run gives them a little bit of time to kind of gear up for a statewide campaign.
All right, very good. Will Ewick, thank you very much. We'll see Will again at 6 on What Matters Most when he has reaction from other politicians. Betsy?
Well, some of the new stuff regarding coronavirus. As of today, more people are now eligible to receive the vaccine. And next week, even more people will be eligible when the list expands to include those 70 and up, and opens to K through 12 educators. Not included on that list, however, are early childhood educators. Brandon Simmons went to the governor's office for answers as to why.
Starting February 1st, thousands of K-12 educators in Ohio become eligible to receive the coronavirus vaccine as part of the 1B group. According to the CDC, that group would include all educators, including early childhood and higher ed. In Ohio, that's not the case.
So it was really extremely shocking to find out that we weren't included along with other educators.
Jessica Robbins is one of them. With help from other early childhood educators in Greater Cleveland, they're asking the state to change the rules.
We received signatures from 6 other organizations that are in our network, and we sent it to the governor.
They've also started a change.org petition that already has over 10,000 signatures in just a few days. But there's a good chance their request gets denied.
With limited vaccine, we really had to figure out who to prioritize. So the state decided they really wanted K through 12 education to be in person as much as possible. So that's why they focused on K through 12.
It's a plan that Governor Mike DeWine has emphasized since December, helping bolster his goal of getting all students back in the classroom by March 1st.
The goal is to get these kids back in school. These children are obviously our future.
A spokesperson for the governor emphasized that the priorities at the state level are to protect the most vulnerable, which is the elderly, and to get students back in the classroom. He added that early childhood educators are important too, but unfortunately had to be left out due to limited vaccine supply.
We've been essential workers since the start of the pandemic.
We just need to feel that we are a priority and we are on the list.
Now, so far, we don't know exactly when this group will become eligible for the vaccine. Some have suggested that they may be included in that 1C group that includes public safety and public health workers, but that's something we'll have to wait to hear from the governor, Betsy.
Well, of course, the big question would be if the vaccine supply were to ramp up, can those plans start to change?
Yeah, those plans can start to change. The state's plan is somewhat fluid in a way. Right now, they're making decisions based on certain goals that they want to achieve at this time. If for some reason, though, more supply is available and it allows them to vaccinate more people and achieve more goals at once, then of course they'll do that. But so far, the rollout for those already eligible groups has been slow, as we've seen.
I know it has been. It's got to be a frustrating process for everybody, but we'll all have our place in the line, Brandon, and you will be included in that too. We'll stand together, I'm sure. So, Brandon, thanks for bringing us the latest on that. Jay?
Next on What's New, Cleveland restaurants have been slammed by the pandemic and there's no relief in sight. But Will Ewick will tell us of a citywide campaign designed to help ease the financial strain. Actually, I believe that's Austin Love, not Will Ewick. And ahead in Pop Break, if at first you don't succeed, you dip your foot back in the love pool. We're going to tell you which Kardashian is ready to try her hand at love yet again.
In with Betsy, 3:30. Got it.
We all know that we have no shortage of great food here in Northeast Ohio. There's pizza, taco, sushis, chicken, corned beef, pierogi, burgers, and so much more. And let's face it, we all have our favorite spots.
Yeah, Betsy, you've made me hungry. But the pandemic has changed so much for the restaurant industry. We've told you many times here that they've been amongst the hardest hit economically since the coronavirus entered our lives. Those local restaurants are the heartbeat of our neighborhoods, and now those neighbors need our help. Here's Austin Love with a look at our new Save Our Sauce campaign and why our support is going to be so important.
Business is not the same. A lot of places are suffering right now. Everybody is just in a, bad spot right now.
We'll be signing an order that all bars in the state and all restaurants will close at 9 o'clock tonight. How long this order will be in effect, we don't frankly know.
It's been an awful year. It doesn't feel right. Everybody's sick of this mandate, everybody's really tired of it. But we just have to endure, We have to.
Endure. That's the only option restaurants like Slyman's have had over the last 10 months. Working with the skeleton crew, the Cleveland staple has stayed open throughout the pandemic with carryout only. In the 57 years that Slyman's has been piling their famous corned beef, they've never fought so hard to keep their doors open.
We're trying our best to just keep the business going because this is some rough times going.
According to Destination Cleveland, 91% of restaurants won't break even, let alone turn a profit this year. And in a survey done by the Ohio Restaurant Association, 75% of restaurateurs say they may be forced to close this year.
Some of these restaurants, they make up the fabric and what's so special about Cleveland. And when we lose those types of restaurants, it hurts.
David Gilbert and Destination Cleveland's mission is typically to get visitors to Cleveland. Since the pandemic, they have shifted to helping Cleveland businesses simply survive. They've been working with Cuyahoga County, providing 168 small businesses with separate $10,000 grants.
If we can help those businesses, and more importantly, help those people, it really makes a difference.
We at Channel 3 are doing our part as well. We call it Save Our Sauce. So over the next few months, we'll be shedding a light on local restaurants like Proper Pig Barbecue in Lakewood. They've been forced to just offer carryout and delivery throughout the pandemic. Compared to business last year, Proper Pig is down 35%, but they're still going. And that's thanks to their loyal following.
It just shows us that how good the community is. They tip a little more, knowing that they're helping our employees out. And it's just taught us, if you're willing to work hard and get out there and put yourself out there, that anything's possible.
It takes an effort by the community for the community.
Look around in your own community. What are the restaurants you'd really be sad to lose? So take a look at yourself and say, you know, this is a restaurant I'd be really sad to lose, and go support them.
It's that support that can mean the difference for families that desperately depend on it.
The family worked hard over the years to build the name. So we're gonna make sure the Slyman's keeps going for years and years to come. Only by the grace of God, but again, we're hoping we could do it.
Austin Love, 3 News.
Austin, thank you very much. Our new Save Our Sauce campaign will be highlighting local restaurants, and of course, the work that's being done to keep them afloat. And we'll be spotlighting different neighborhoods and restaurants on what's new. We're going to do that, Betsy, through March. So be sure to watch, and if you can, get out and help keep these amazing places going. It's very difficult for many of them.
It is, and there's a lot of people who that's literally their bread and butter, and I'm not talking about the actual bread. I'm talking about that is their life, that is their love, and it's how they feed their families. So make sure that you get out and support those in your community. And we're going to be kicking off our campaign, and we're, of course, featuring different foodie spots around Northeast Ohio. This week, we're going to be in Lakewood. You are now looking at Humboldt Wine Bar on Detroit Avenue. They're offering in-person and carry-out options and are rolling out a pizza and bottle of wine deal for $25. Our Doug Tratner has a list of other great Lakewood spots right now at WKYC.com. Oh, beautiful place. And boy, we just have so many various little hole-in-the-wall joints all across Northeast Ohio that you can really dive into and get a great meal and help some folks out. So keep that fabric of our community together, everybody. And it may be a good night to do some ordering in because, well, we got a little bit of a mess coming our way. It's not going to be so bad here initially, but later tonight we're anticipating things to start to get a little slick in spots. Matt Wintz has been covering for us this afternoon and, of course, joins us now with the latest on all that. What you got, Matt?
Yeah, well, Betsy, you know, it could be a lot worse. There are other parts of the country that are really getting nailed with this storm system. We're kind of in between on that, where we're going to mess with some ice overnight tonight, which is never fun. And then we'll say goodbye to this one and hello to the next 6 storms lining up beyond that. So we'll get you through this one safely first. Temperature is always the problem, right? If you have rain, it's typically above freezing. You have snow, typically below freezing. But when you have temperatures that are pretty much all 32, that's when that precip type, not just here at the surface, but up as you get into the atmosphere, gets a little tricky. And you can see temps are near freezing right now. These are going to come down just a couple degrees tonight. That's when that moisture comes in. So that's why we have the threat for some wintry precipitation around here. Here's a look at the system, though. There's a big cluster of showers and storms that rolled through Missouri, areas of Kentucky overnight. That is ongoing. That helps to kind of prevent some of this moisture from getting into the storm system. But now that that's moving out, you can see we've got moisture filling back in, and this is what's going to affect us tonight. Real heavy snow, expecting up to a foot in Iowa. This radar will start to fill in over the next couple hours. We're already starting to see that now, and that will fill in with some snow initially for us. That will transition to that freezing rain and sleet overnight tonight. You can see the periphery and the northern side where that cold air is. We've got winter storm warnings. We're under winter weather advisories. Basically, you can expect winter weather driving conditions and walking or just going outside conditions as we get through the overnight tomorrow. You can see most of northeast Ohio, exception being Tuscarawas County. You may get a little ice tonight as well down there. That goes through Tuesday morning. So not a lot on radar right now, but over the next couple hours, as I mentioned, this will start to fill in with some snow. That's how we're going to start things this evening. And the timeline from there, well, we start to warm the atmosphere up a little bit. So that snow will change over to mix tonight. We're going to go to rain and a little bit of mix left over tomorrow. But I do think we warm up as we get into the midday hours. That should melt any of the icing that occurs. And then look at that. We're back towards snow tomorrow evening. I'm on the treadmill now. This is literally the treadmill here in the basement. But you can see that snow kicking back in tomorrow night. You notice those icons, they show constant precipitation. That's not going to be the case with this. I think we're going to have some dry hours in the mix as well. It's not going to be a huge batch of moisture coming in. So let's take a look on the local scale with your National and Zymart hour-by-hour forecast. There's that snow transitioning the mix overnight tonight. It will take you through the night. You can see everything kind of pushes northward. We've got that mix ongoing across the northern tier of counties. Meanwhile, it's just plain rain down towards the south. Tomorrow, here are your dry hours. I think everything shifts off towards the north. We'll have some scattered rain here and there. Look at temperatures, though, up near 40 down towards Akron. Colder as you get north and west. And then eventually we all start to chill down tomorrow night. I do think this snow tomorrow night's a little bit underdone. I think we're going to have some pretty decent snow showers around here to finish things off. In terms of accumulation, not talking a lot, and look how we go into Wednesday. It's colder, but it's drier. This system's out of here by then. So how much snow? This is not going to be a snow producer. Most of this falls Tuesday evening on into Tuesday night on the backside of that storm. The part we're going to watch for are some of these ice accumulations. You get up over 1/10 of an inch, which we're not going to be at. That's when it gets pretty disruptive. This will be more of a nuisance. So we always talk in terms of impacts around here. So when we talk about those impacts, yeah, you're going to have some icy surfaces, slick travel tomorrow morning, and the car scraping. You're going to have to get those windshield wipers up tonight if you don't want to have them attached to your cars. We will have a nice coating and a glaze pretty much area-wide. Union Home Mortgage 7-day forecast. A little bit of lingering snow Wednesday, Thursday. Look at the cold setting in behind the system. And then we warm up again. And as of right now, it looks like we're going to have a pretty decent shot at another storm Sunday, Monday, which could bring more accumulating snow with that one. But again, we'll get through this one first. Jay, I know your bird feeders are going to be happy out there. I don't know why I thought about your bird feeders, but those birds are going to be, go feed them tonight.
Yesterday, we had a huge hawk sitting on our bird feeder, so there was no activity. Wow. Everybody was hunkered in place and frozen in time. All right, Matt, thanks. We'll see you at 5:30. Still ahead on What's New, it is a battle for the ages. Godzilla versus Kong. Who you got? We have all the details on the new movie ahead. It's in our pop break. Then, this is a great story. This gymnast nailed her routine, and she's drawing a lot of reaction from celebs online. That's ahead in our Worth the Watch. Stay with us. Saturday Night Live is back. The show announced its lineup for the next 3 weeks. And how about this? Cleveland native Machine Gun Kelly is on the list. He's kicking off the first episode this Saturday when he'll be the musical guest. By the way, John Krasinski will host the show. That's a pretty good lineup. Now, here's Kiara Cotton with the rest of your Daily Pop Break.
Sound the alarm. There's a new celebrity couple in town. Kourtney Kardashian and Travis Barker have run in the same social circles for years. But apparently all it took was a poolside day at momager Kris Jenner's home to seal the deal. The 41-year-old reality star and the 45-year-old Blink-182 drummer both have children from previous relationships. But this matchup just goes to show love could be right under your nose. And speaking of love, JoJo Siwa is feeling a lot of it. The 17-year-old artist and former Dance Mom star is being embraced after coming out as a member of the LGBTQ+ community. And of course, she came out in style with a t-shirt that reads, "Best gay cousin ever." However, she says she's not ready to put a label on her orientation. Following the news, she appeared on Instagram Live to answer questions, thank everyone for their support, and above all, share her happiness.
Now that the world gets to see this side of my life, it makes me really, really happy.
It's a battle for the ages. Over the weekend, Warner Brothers released the first trailer for Godzilla vs. Kong.
Kong bows to no one.
The movie is the fourth installment in the franchise and takes a look at the ongoing feud between the two monsters as humanity works to take them both down and regain control of the planet. Who will reign supreme? Godzilla vs. Kong hits theaters March 26th and will also be available on HBO Max for 31 days. Godzilla vs. Kong will join a list of Warner Brothers films that will be available to stream the same day they hit theaters. So if you want, you can watch a blockbuster movie right from the comfort of your home. Back to you guys.
Kiara, thank you very much. Now it's time for your Worth the Watch. How can you not cheer for that? UCLA gymnast Nia Dennis went viral for her floor routine again. According to The Guardian, the senior dedicated her latest floor routine to Black culture. She incorporated several Black artists, including Kendrick Lamar, Tupac, Missy Elliott, and of course Beyonce. If you'll remember, Dennis went viral last year for her all Beyonce routine. Jay, she scored a 9.95 out of 10. I'd say the judges liked it too. A lot of celebrities, including Simone Biles, are giving her major props and shout outs online. What an incredible athlete. I mean, I just am always amazed to see those gymnasts get out there and do these unbelievable moves. But then when you can put it with some music that people can identify with, now it's kind of like a connection that's made that might be a little bit unexpected. It gives you a little bit of a thrill.
Yeah, it's more of an event. I'll tell you what amazes me, Bets, is that every single routine doesn't get a perfect 10. Because I'm obviously a novice, and I'm watching that, and I don't care if they slip, they fall. I'm like, looks like a 10 to me. I couldn't do it. I'm always impressed with the gymnasts.
It is so amazing. They are just incredible athletes, most certainly. So here we go. Hopefully we'll see her at the Olympics, right?
Yeah,
Never
absolutely.
know. Well, still ahead for us here on What's New, we are tracking a snow and ice mix. It's a wintry mess that Matt Wintz is keeping an eye on. He's going to have more on how things will progress overnight. Then our senior health correspondent, Monica Robbins, joins us live to answer more vaccine questions, including why Ohio is at the bottom of the list when it comes to giving second doses. And don't expect to see any Budweiser Clydesdale commercials during the Super Bowl. Why the company is not airing ads in this year's big game. We'll be right back.
Hello. Hello. According to the CDC, Ohio has been allotted 1.1 million doses and vaccinated about 627,000. Second doses are included in part of that number. Yep.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
Welcome back, everybody, on this Monday edition of What's New. I'm Betsy Kling and my co-host Jay Crawford, side by side yet again. Jay, I'm going to be back in the studio next week.
Hurry up.
On Monday. I have plans to get back in. I know, we're finally going to get back together. I miss you. I miss everybody, even with plexiglass barriers and whatnot.
Yeah.
But it's time to get back to work, most certainly, and work out a few of these technological kinks. But it's been really great to be home. Even when we have these winter weather advisories going on, and all I'm thinking is, gosh, I don't have to drive and all this stuff. A little wintry mixing to start the work week off.
Well, that's a bonus. Hey, here's the way I look at it, Bets. I mentioned that January here flying by, the last Monday of the month. And it's Ohio, it's January, we know this happens, and here's my rationale. Groundhog Day is a week and a day away, and once we get there, I kind of look at it as we're more than halfway through the winter tunnel. You know, I can see the light on the other side. So now that we're, February's within reach, we're getting close. We're getting close. Spring training.
Other than my friend Jody's birthday, I think we could completely skip Groundhog Day in my book.
All right, but yeah, that's right. You're not a big fan of Groundhog Day. I forgot. Okay, let's begin this half hour as we always do. 3 things you need to know to start your bottom of the half hour. Ohio Senator Rob Portman will not run for re-election in 2022. The Republican still has 2 years left on his second 6-year term. He said this will be it, though. He's looking forward to focusing on his legislation and not fundraising or campaigning. He spent more than 30 years in public service. No word yet on what's next for Senator Portman. Meanwhile, in the next 2 hours, the House is expected to deliver the article of impeachment against President Trump to the Senate. The Senate trial will start the week of February 8th. A conviction, remember, requires a 2/3 majority. That means at least 17 Republicans will have to join all the Democrats. No indication they'll get that many yet. If convicted, the Senate is also expected to vote whether or not to bar Trump from holding office ever again. The House impeached the former president the week before he left office. They accuse him of inciting the deadly riots at the Capitol. And you have to see this amazing new dash cam video. It caught a trooper rescuing a man in a wheelchair. Ohio State Highway Patrol says Trooper Hiram Morales saw smoke out his window and followed it until he got to West 47th Street. He saw the house on fire. 2 people had already evacuated. Morales then rescued a man who was in a wheelchair from the house next door. Highway Patrol says the houses are extremely close together. What drama?
Wow. Whew. Well, today's top talker is the wintry mix that's moving into our neck of the woods. Matt Wintz and I have been keeping an eye on this afternoon. And Matt, we kind of chuckle as we have our discussions during the day, but there are very definitive processes that happen in the atmosphere in order for this changeover between precipitation types to take place. The good news is you're going to explain that all to us.
Yeah, absolutely. I only have 1:30. Okay, yeah, Betsy, I'm going to have to leave that to you at 6. We need a full show for that for sure. But Betsy, it blows my mind all the time that we can even forecast this stuff, that we can forecast the different temperatures at the different levels of the atmosphere. It just blows my mind that that is even a technology today. I don't think people appreciate it. They just want to know what's going to happen out their door. But from the science side, it's pretty incredible. But we've got a pretty incredible system right now. This is the same system that brought feet of snow out in the desert Southwest. It came out in the plains last night, and now it's an area of low pressure that was stronger 24 hours ago. It's starting to weaken, so all this moisture is really starting to spread out, but we've still got enough of it coming in here to give us some icy problems. You've got heavy snow back towards Iowa. This is where the brunt of the storm is going to hit, but this is really going to start to fill in. I mentioned that top of the broadcast, and look, there you go, starting to blossom on radar now. We've got quite a bit of lift right up over us. You've noticed those clouds have really darkened up throughout the daytime today. That's that moisture getting heavier up there. Winter weather advisories out for us. The winter storm warnings are well towards the west. This means we will have winter weather conditions tonight and tomorrow morning. That morning commute's what we're watching. Your scattered snow is starting to show up on radar. Everything will start as snow here this evening area-wide, and then we start to bring in some warmer air aloft up in the atmosphere. So some of that snow, as we go hour by hour, you can see changing to that pink, which is that mix of sleet and freezing rain, and then becoming rain as we go throughout the overnight. That morning commute, though, this is what it's going to look like. Likely some ice falling from the sky. Coming up in the forecast, we'll detail not just that hour by hour, but we'll talk impacts, and we'll go beyond this and talk a little bit about our next potential storm coming up in the forecast. Betsy, I didn't know you didn't like Groundhog's Day.
Yeah, that's a long legend that I continue to perpetuate. That not a fan. Not a fan. We'll talk more about that.
We'll do that during our show.
It's Jay's. Exactly, Jay.
Russ told me about that last year. I forgot about it. I think it has something to do with an animal predicting weather. Betsy's not a fan.
Not a fan.
All right. Betsy, I'll tell you this much. You're going to be a fan of this because the news with our coronavirus numbers continues to be mostly positive. Our daily case today sits at 4,334. A month ago, for perspective, we were as high as 10,000 cases a day. Positivity rate also continues its dramatic slide. Today, it's down another full percentage point to 7.8%. Again, for reference, a month ago, we were at 14%. Hospitalizations also continuing its slide, down more than 1,000 patients over the last month. We're now at just over 3,000 patients statewide. Sadly, though, it's still claiming lives. We lost 57 more Ohioans because of complications from the coronavirus. Let's talk vaccine. Our senior health correspondent, Monica Robbins, started answering your many vaccine-related questions last week. She's getting more and more every day. So, until the questions dry up, she's going to join us to bring you the answers you so desperately need. Monica, Ohio is one of the last states when it comes to administering a second dose of the vaccine. Why are we at the bottom of that list?
Well, according to the CDC, Jay, Ohio has been allotted 1.1 million doses and vaccinated about 627,000 people. Now, second doses are included in part of that number. But one health official explains with so many providers, entering data takes time.
Careful about the data that you see nationally, and here's why. Sometimes those vaccines are already in someone's arm. But as we mentioned, with multiple people using multiple ways in order to do data entry, sometimes the entry is delayed. The other thing about the second doses that's really important is, remember, we had mostly Moderna. And so again, it was 4 weeks before we could even start. So here at the health department, last week was the first week we didn't even do a second dose.
Monica, the underlying conditions.
So there you go,
Jay. Go ahead.
No, that's I was going to say one other thing is that the state is allotted those vaccines. However, remember the ones that went to the pharmacy companies that were doing all the nursing homes, they were not included in some of the state numbers, according to a spokesperson from the governor's office. So the numbers are, we can just juggle and come up with a bunch of numbers. The bottom line is we need more. It's that simple. Yeah,
every state does, and I know they're all desperately waiting for it. I was curious because recently they came out with the list of pre-existing conditions that would qualify you for the vaccine. And for Ohioans, type 2 diabetes, general disease, and cancer are not on that list. And I couldn't help but wonder why not.
Yeah, you know what? We can, again, blame it on limited vaccine. And here's why. It's estimated there are nearly 2 million type 2 diabetics in Ohio, not to mention even more than that with heart disease. And the state decided to target the most at-risk populations first. So as we get more vaccine, those underlying conditions will be added to the eligible groups. Now that 75-year-olds and those underlying conditions are added to the list, it's really important that people remember that the state guidelines require providers to work down the list by age group, but some providers are just going by appointment, so there is no streamlined system. It's incredibly frustrating, and that's why I keep telling everybody, register at as many places as you possibly can to at least save yourself a place in line. And for those of you who do not have computer access, you can still call the United Way's 211 help link. If you're a patient at university hospitals or Cleveland Clinic facilities, you can call their helplines to get registered. And others may call the Western Reserve Area Agency on Aging for registration help and even transportation help. A lot of these things really, really important to remember, Jay. And believe me, it's, you know, we are just in the very, very beginning. We have a very long way to go.
Yeah, vaccinations are very difficult. You're talking about hundreds of millions nationally. It's going to take time. Monica, thank you very much again. Terrific information. Betsy?
Very good inspo. Well, still ahead for us here on What's New, we are checking in with two viewers who went on a journey with our Jason Fraser to live a healthier life, and that includes mental and physical lifestyles. Then the ads are second only to football in the Super Bowls, we all know, but Budweiser and several other companies will be on the sidelines in this year's big game, where they're putting their money instead.
Three minutes, I'm ready. 3 minutes, I'm ready. 3 minutes, I'm ready. 3 minutes, I'm ready. Yeah, I got you. I had a nice little internet and phone outage for about a second after. Nice little internet and phone outage for about a second after. Nice little internet and phone outage for about a second after. Mic check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, the VLC won't stay open. It keeps going to the multi-mix or whatever, so I don't know. What's that? Oh, VLC.
All right, winter weather advisory active as we go through the overnight hours for much of northern Ohio. Matt Wintz has the latest on all of that. Matt?
Yeah, Yeah, Betsy, it's for everyone in Northeast Ohio. Exception being down far to the south, Tuscarawas County. We're expecting less icing down there. But this is going to be a pretty decent wintry weather event. It all happens later on this evening through tonight and tomorrow morning. And we're not alone. It stretches all the way over towards areas in Nebraska where they're expecting over a foot of snow there. Not for us. Basically, for us, what we're doing is throwing all this moisture into temperatures that are right near the freezing mark. So we're going to have not just some snow, but some freezing rain and sleet as we go throughout this event. Area low pressure is still well off towards the west, so we've got a decent duration of time to go. And what we're going to see on the radar here is this filling in. It's already happening there. You can see everything starting to develop now. As we zoom on into the local level, you can see we're even picking up returns from the Cleveland radar now down towards the Mansfield area, Erie, Huron County. You'll likely see some flakes here in the next half hour. And a look courtesy ODOT of I-71 at US 30. And you look for the snow, the visibility dropping just a little bit there. So I would imagine we've got some snowflakes flying there, more to come. But the snow will quickly transition as we go your National Design Mart hour-by-hour forecast. That snow will transition to some freezing rain and sleet as we go throughout the evening hours, especially down towards the south. As it fills in, we'll likely stay snow off towards the north the longest. Not anticipating a lot of accumulation out of this, but what we are anticipating are some slick surfaces, especially as we go into tomorrow morning. You can see this is what the radar is going to look like just before that morning commute, so we're likely going to have some freezing rain, some sleet mixing in. Meanwhile, down to the south, you're a little bit safer tomorrow morning because we're likely going to have temperatures that come up into the mid, even upper 30s as we go throughout the morning. That warmer slot of air will move across the entire area, exception being farther off towards the west tomorrow. So once we get towards the midday hour, we're looking a lot better. I think everything will start to kind of melt away as we get throughout that midday and early afternoon hour. Tomorrow evening, everything comes back at us. We get the colder air moving in here, likely some snow across the area before the system ends, and then we're quiet heading on into Wednesday. We'll watch for some lake effect flurries and snow showers to develop in the afternoon as colder air moves on in. So in terms of impacts, what are we talking about? Well, some slick travel as we get into tomorrow morning, slippery, untreated surfaces. Think decks, sidewalks, all that stuff, and then, yeah, it's going to be a little nuisance scraping the windshield tomorrow morning. You might want to pop up those windshield wipers tonight before all this starts. Here's how much snow is going to fall. Not a whole lot. Most of this is tomorrow evening, but in terms of icing, we are going to have some light glaze pretty much on everything. And this again happens tonight, tomorrow morning, before things start to melt off during the daytime tomorrow. Beyond that, though, boy, does it turn interesting in the extended forecast. Your Union Home Mortgage 7-day. Yeah, we've got some lingering snow showers and flurries Wednesday, Thursday. Very cold Thursday, Friday as cold air sets in behind the system. And then Sunday, Monday, that's going to be the next one on our radar. Not just figuratively speaking, but that looks to be a pretty decent storm. Could bring us some snow around here. But again, we've got an icy 24 hours to get through here first. Jay?
All right, Matt, thank you very much. We appreciate it. Well, it has been a few months now since we teamed up with the Cleveland Clinic's Wellness Center to help two viewers become a better version of themselves. Our Jason Fraser launched the series, The New You, to help viewers sort of navigate the problems that come along with the pandemic. The program just ended, and Jason caught up with new friends Kim and Katie for a look at their progress.
Back in October, I introduced you to two of our viewers, Kim Horton and Katie Lucas. Like many of us, the pandemic had derailed their wellness and fitness goals.
I used to go to the Y like 3 days a week and then nothing. I just felt so powerless over so many things out of my control.
For nearly 10 weeks, we met with doctors from the Cleveland Clinic's Wellness Center and learned everything from how to cook and eat better to how chiropractic medicine can help with all sorts of pain. The goal of the program is not just about losing weight. It's about a full mind and body transformation. Katie's favorite part was the yoga.
But I really like it because it incorporates mind and body. And I don't think it would be fair to try to lose weight without incorporating your mind.
And for Kim?
I really like that massage.
Who wouldn't like a professional massage, right? But that wasn't all.
That really helped me.
Both admit that the process wasn't easy. Kim had to give up some of her favorite snacks.
I had an altercation with some Christmas cookies, you know, and it went on for a couple of days. We were really fighting it out, but, you know, I was able to turn that around. I like my hamburger and steak, I gotta tell you. I don't think I could
I could do plant-based. There's just, nope.
Despite a few setbacks, both women have made progress.
I actually lost 17 pounds and 7.5 inches. So I'm, really, really happy with that. My cholesterol did go down like 30 points.
I lost 21 pounds. I'm still working toward a lot more. As far as my cholesterol goes, everything came down, but not to where I had hoped it would be. So that's a work in progress.
Moving forward, both said that they would continue their wellness journey and have some advice for you.
Take your health seriously and do what you can. Move, even if it's just walking, up and down the steps in your home.
Progress is still progress, even if it's small. The things I have learned in it are not to focus on the goal as much as it is the journey, and never think it's too late.
Yeah, that's great advice. Okay, that's the healthy portion of our show. Now, on What's New, it's Cleveland Wing Week. We're going to tell you where to find the best chicken wing deals in Cleveland. Then, this panda is the star of our Show Us Something Good. Wait until you see what she does to the zookeeper after her weigh-in. So stinking cute.
Okay. So I'll come out of the Super Bowl and I'll just say the stuff about LeBron. Hey, it's Cleveland Wing Week, a whole week to celebrate chicken wings and local restaurants. Cool.
All right, it's time now to see what's making news on the cyber side. And for that, we bring in our digital anchor, Stephanie Haney. Hi, Stephanie. What's clicking in Cleveland?
Hi, Betsy. We have a tasty one for you today. It's the start of our first ever Cleveland Wing Week, and that's a whole week to celebrate chicken wings and local restaurants. At more than 30 places around town, you can get 6 wings for $5. Now through Sunday, if you get wings from at least 4 places on the Wing Week Passport, you can enter to win $250 in gift cards. We have your link to download that passport at WKYC.com. Now, when I think of wings, I always think of the Super Bowl, and that's going to look different this year, both in the stadium and at home. That's because for the first time in 37 years, Anheuser-Busch is not airing a Budweiser ad in the big game. Instead, the company will donate the money it would have spent on that ad to fund coronavirus vaccination awareness efforts. So no singing frogs and no Clydesdales this year, but we will see a few Bud Light or Michelob Ultra spots from Anheuser-Busch during the game. Now, in the basketball sports world, LeBron James is back in town tonight. He's here with the Los Angeles Lakers to take on the Cavaliers in Cleveland for the first time since 2018. Betsy, here's hoping we have a similar result that we did when Kyrie Irving was here in town with the Brooklyn Nets.
No doubt. That would be awesome. Certainly hope to see those points getting racked up. All right, Stephanie, thank you so much. We'll see you again tomorrow. Coming up next on What's New, this panda bear. I think this is Jay's favorite story of the week, and it's only Monday. Wait till you see what happens with this little thing and the zookeeper. Pretty sweet. Then tonight, coming up on What Matters Most at 6, local hospitals and universities are getting ready to work together for the new Innovation District in Cleveland. The jobs and research this will bring to our area.
It doesn't work. Thanks.
Hey, Al, how are you? Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Tonight, almost every county in Northeast Ohio is under a winter weather advisory.
Check 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Check 1, 2. Got me? Yeah, I'm here, buddy.
Check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Brandon's microphone. This is what it'll sound like to be Brandon from the basement. We're still talking about child.
Mic check, Monica. Hello, 1, 2, 3, 4. What is up with my thing?
Hey, I have you. Mic check. 1, 2, 3. Laura Queso's mic.
All right, we wrap up our Monday edition of What's New with our Show Us Something Good. It's adorable, too. This panda bear, after her weigh-in, just did not want the zookeeper to go. So she latched onto his leg. He's trying to walk away, but this lady panda just won't have any of it. She's got both of her paws wrapped around this guy before eventually the zookeeper's able to break free. She's 6 months old and the first Chinese panda born in South Korea. Look, now she's lonely, Bats.
She didn't get her way, so now she's having a temper tantrum. I think that is fantastic.
They are just the cutest animals on the planet. I absolutely love them. They never fail to cheer me up no matter what.
Aw, animals have a funny way of doing that for folks, certainly. Well, I'll tell you what, everybody, things are going to get very interesting as we go through the night tonight as far as the weather goes. This is not a high-impact event, but we're going to be inconvenienced by it. I just put some finishing touches on a first update coming up in just a couple